Hi, this is Maria Kalamas,
Hello.
and I'm Joanna Zayush, and we are going to talk about the process, what happens on a healing journey, what happens on a journey of transformation. Everybody has to go through this kind of journey in their life. So, this part is about the start. How does it start? What are we healing from on this journey, and what happens? So, what's going to initiate this kind of journey?
Well, for everyone is a different story. It could be a death, it could be a divorce, it could be some kind of severe medical issue or problem that shows up in someone's life. Anything that will take life out of the ordinary and infuse it with challenges.
That's right. And some specific things could be, like you said, somebody died, we lost somebody,
Yes.
or divorce. Maybe you didn't expect that your partner wants to divorce you, and suddenly you got the news. Or maybe you have been in a marriage that didn't work for years, and you come to the point when you know either you die or you divorce, because sometimes this is really how strong this energy is. Or you are in a bad job and the job is killing you.
And I've been through all these journeys, so that's why I have experienced the divorce, the job killing me, and all those things to make the healing journey. So I see that I've been through many healing journeys. And now the tools that I acquired through the time to heal through these journeys are helpful for me in the now when things happen in life, because I don't have to go through the whole process of a healing journey where it's traumatic and it's prolonged and it takes a long time. I have the tools in the moment that something is happening to help with the stress that's in my body, to move the energy, to move the grief, to move the anxiety, to move the stress. And it's just taught me how to live a better life, a happier life, a more purposeful life. And I embrace the journey now.
So I know that you have many tools. If you could just open your toolbox for us visually and tell us what's in it.
And that's what I love to teach is daily things that we can use in our life. It could be just breathing, breath, the
Mm-hmm.
breath. It's there, it's free. It's the one thing that we don't pay attention, but the one thing that can really transform us. Because emotions, thoughts, events, they all have an energy around them, right? Let's say that divorce, all the emotions that are surrounding a divorce, all the feelings, the grief, the shame, broken dreams, all that, that's energy and it gets stored in the body. Through breath, and I'm not just saying just to, okay, it's all gone, but really take conscious time once, twice. If you do it 3 times, you're a superhero. Put it in your life, and for 5, 10 minutes that day, you just breathe. You just breathe, filling your belly, filling your chest, helping with that oxygen to circulate in your body through your cells. It helps to clear out your thoughts. It helps to clear out those emotions and bring yourself into a neutral place where then you can reevaluate what is happening, see what your part is, what the event is trying to teach you, where is it trying to guide you, and address it more easy.
I like how you guide people through this transformation, because I have been on your massage table for, I mean, a couple times, I
Mm-hmm.
maybe 3 times, I forgot, and I'm coming again.
Yes.
And and what I love about your work is that you are not only working on the body, but you can feel into the problems in the body, the energetic problems in the body, and
Yes.
then you help people to breathe into it and release the pain, release the stuck energy with breath. And I will never forget how about a month ago I had a problem that for 3 nights I lost sleep over it for 3 nights, and I came to you in like 5 minutes. What just happened? And all you had to do is just ask me to think differently. as if I didn't know that already, but I had to be reminded. And
Yes.
also, you helped me to completely shift that energy around that issue. So, you see how we work on the body, but at the same time, we use our mind, we change our thoughts, and we use our breath to help to release and bring in new.
As I'm breathing right now and releasing all this information.
Yeah.
I love the journey. I mean, when I look back at the journey, life is filled with journeys, filled with stories, filled with events. You know, I can be just pain is everywhere. I mean, there's pleasure, there's pain. Pain is inevitable. I can be walking and hit my foot on the table, and it happens not often. I'm not gonna say that but it happens from time to time, right? So when I hit it, I don't baby the pain. I'll tap on it, I'll shake it, I'll breathe into the area, and my attention is to immediate release and movement of that pain. And you know what? It's gone. If the area doesn't bruise, and I don't have a problem the next day. So with all our issues in spiritual, the truth is we have to connect with our spirit. Our body has spirit in it. There's a soul. There's this other energy in it. So that has to have peace as well with a physical body. I've actually personally experienced, and I feel it. I am a soul occupying a physical vessel. My body is my physical vessel. And through my senses, hearing, seeing, tasting, feeling, did I say feeling? Hearing, I get to experience life. And at times when I don't want to hear something, like for about 7 months, I was having a problem with my right ear. The sound was mute, kind of like there was something over my ear. I couldn't hear very well, and then it started becoming a pain. Well, when something like that happens to me, I explore my inner self and being to what is it that I don't want to hear that other people are saying or information that is coming in. And you know what? I moved, right, in December. So my hearing problem was when I had moved into a new house for 7 months and I wasn't happy and I just didn't want to hear the messages. And then when I finally figured it out and I made a move, my ear was perfectly fine again. No hearing problems, no aches, no pains whatsoever.
Interesting. So, did you figure out specifically
Oh,
what was the
yes,
problem?
yes. But it's
Okay.
again questioning myself. What is it that I don't want to hear? You have to get really honest with yourself. What is it that I don't want to hear? So there's journeys all the time. Stories, we create them continuously. Aches and pains, they'll come and go. It is for us to go inside and ask certain questions and be truly honest and with ourselves and our environment and the people around us, because the answers are all in us.
Yes. I'm going to move the microphone to you because you are talking in more quiet way.
Am I?
Yes, and I yell. I yell and you speak very softly and quietly.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I was the yeller.
No, I'm the one.
Really?
Yes, I know.
I have to increase my voice. I have to open up my chest. I'm not getting enough air in my body.
No, but it's
I uncross my legs.
So we are basically talking right now about the beginnings of the healing journey, but you also started talking about what tools we can use to heal ourselves. So basically, what is our plan? We want to talk about what initiates the healing journey, the pain. We want to start from the beginning, what initiates this journey, because it may happen that your spirit tells you to leave the situation, your spirit tells you to leave the job, but you still will want to prove yourself something, prove that you can do this and push yourself. Very, very often women are guilty of leaving a marriage because they say, well, it's not that bad, I should just be grateful. But on the other hand, they are not completely happy. And why shouldn't you be completely happy? Why shouldn't you enjoy life to the fullest? And what is our plan to, after we record this about the initiation of this journey into transformation and healing, then we'll talk about the hard part after you decided to leave the situation, the beginning after you decided to leave a job, the beginning stages, then what emotions are involved in the transformation, and there will be the painful ones and there will be the positive ones, because life is always a combination of light and dark. And then we'll talk about what happens on the level of relationships, the relationship with yourself, the relationship with other people, new people coming into life, and people taking a role of angels and healers, but also people coming to your life to show you who not to be. Like, the false teachers, false healers. They are also helping us to find our way into our authenticity, who we really are, and what we really want. And then we'll talk about rediscovering their freedom. This is the point when you know for sure that you have made the right decision. And then we'll talk about the limiting beliefs, how we acquire the limiting beliefs, where do they come from,
Who give them to us?
also, and how to reprogram ourselves on the cellular level. We'll talk about the obstacles that are always a necessary part of any journey. There will be obstacles that are redirecting us to the right path, but there will also be obstacles that are creative. Like, you are going to experience some obstacles for sure, and why we shouldn't look at the obstacles and hard times always as a sign that we shouldn't be on that path. We are going to use them as the building blocks. And then we'll talk about difficult things like forgiveness, surrender, letting go. And my favorite, rituals, creating sacred space, and self-care for the body, mind, spirit, and emotions. So what else?
Self-care that is regular. We need regular self-care, not like I'm going to, like we brush our teeth every day, right?
That's right.
That's self-care. A self-care that our body does for itself is to eliminate, go to the bathroom. A very big percentage of the population is clogged up and constipated. So you know how much toxicity and illness and disease that creates for the body? Aches and pains, lower back problems, neck problems, all kinds of different problems. The journey. You know what? I think the beginning of the journey is the minute we come out of our mother's womb and we are put on a table all alone. And especially now with what happens when a baby comes out, when it's born. Well, they inject it with 100 different kinds of vaccines. It's like becoming such a memory because they're great in one hand, but on the other, why does a baby that just came out of the womb of a mother have to get all these vaccines?
The doctors would know.
The doctors would know, but they have increased the amount of vaccines. So now we also have increased the amount of children that are having a lot of developmental problems and autism and other kinds of things.
But here we are basically talking about the journey. Yes, and that's true, because the journey actually happens.
The journey starts when we come out of the womb, doesn't it?
Yeah, and before, because we hear the voices around us, and sometimes people also bring in the limiting beliefs that started when they were still in the womb, and sometimes from the past lives.
Yes, for sure. But see? Yeah, the healing journey begins.
But here, basically, because I believe that we go through many journeys of transformation to our lives, but you and I were talking about these intense journeys that happen after something shakes our world. And this is the kind of journey of transformation and healing that helps us to define who we are. And for me, it happened from the age of, I think something was going on from the age of 36, my first midlife crisis, to like 3 years ago, maybe to 2017. And it was really intense, and I had to rebuild a lot. And for you, and for me, it started from taking responsibility for somebody that didn't go well, divorce, and changing a job. So it was all together, and it was a lot to deal with. Now looking back, I see what kind of mess it was, and how I tried to find myself almost in the dark without having the right tools. And what did it look like for you?
You know, for me, really, it started at a much younger age, because I was born in the States. Then my mother kidnapped me, took me to another country. So my journey has been a healing journey and a way to try to find freedom since as young as I can remember. Being raised among two different cultures, not knowing which one do I belong to, what am I? And then divorce, children. I mean, even raising children for me, that was a healing journey. As a single parent raising children, that there was a lot of stories involved with that, and a lot of sacrifices and a lot of different things. So that's been one of my greatest journeys, where I healed though, because how I treated my children and the way I raised my children and the lessons I learned from being a parent was part of my healing. In some ways, it's like life is life is a journey, and just like the elements, and just like summer is vitality, right? Then we have the decay of fall, the death of winter, the rebirth of spring, the vitality of summer, and back to decay, death, rebirth, vitality. That is, I see in everything in life, that life cannot be always high, perfect, amazing, wonderful. I remember there was times that things were so perfect. I had the American dream, everything was perfect, and I'm sitting there saying, wow, this is too perfect. I think I should stir something up. Because I felt everything was so perfect that there was also a boredom and monotony of everything being so perfect. But at the time I was younger and unaware, so I was like, oh, what can I stir up? You know? So I would see that I would sometimes self-sabotage and create situations or involve myself in situations just to create a journey that will keep me interested. And what did each journey do? It taught me. It made me grow. It helped me to discover my courage, my strengths. It pushed me in other areas to learn new things, new sciences, new crafts. I've done so many different jobs in my life, and I've loved all of them. And even now in the healing arts and where I am as a practitioner, I've been practicing 10 years professionally. I'm in another journey now. I feel that, okay, I've done this so well, I've mastered it, I know it works, and I know I'm really good, but the monotony of, I'm gonna go heal this one and that one and that one, is, it doesn't interest me anymore, because it's not, I don't need my ego to be fed anymore. Through this journey of helping others, I've helped myself and healed myself. So now it's coming from the heart. So now I'm embarking on a new journey with videos, that it's learning how to talk in front of a camera and be authentic in front of a camera and share the journeys in front of a camera without self-judgment or criticism or do I know enough, am I good enough, or any of that stuff.
Self-acceptance.
Self-acceptance.
Self-respect.
Yes. Authenticity.
Yes.
Yes. And that's now I can look back at all the people I've been, because we become people to satisfy other people, or satisfy the job, or the boss, or the client. We become. And I'm a Libra, so I'm like the master chameleon. I learn to really reflect the energy of the other person. Why? Because the ultimate was to be loved, to be accepted, to belong,
And this is
to
a
fit
trap.
in. Yeah.
This is a trap because, well, even though I'm not a Libra, I'm a Capricorn with ascendant in Sagittarius. And I hear it from other women, even like older than us, and you would think that somebody who is 50 or 60, they would already be like done with all this. But even those women say sometimes, you know what, I caught myself that I said yes to it because I wanted them to like me.
Yep.
Like really, sometimes we say no to ourselves and yes to others because we want, this is really to be accepted. But it's enough that you accept yourself, that you accept your own no. And so the journey through the healing and transformation is also a journey to authenticity and loving yourself as you are. And saying no is a very useful skill.
Oh yes, I had to learn that one. And when we say journey, now that I'm thinking about a healing journey, Some people may think that a healing journey takes a long time. It's a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. It could
10
be.
years.
It could be 10 years. It could be.
Yes.
But also healing journey could be a day. It could be an hour.
Tell me about it.
So that is for me where now, because I see journeys are constant, right?
Okay.
But is to learn and to have healing in this journey, which was, let's say, 1 hour journey. Something happens. Instead of prolonging the situation, you address it, you look into it, you resolve it right there and release it.
That's right. Like in energy healing session.
So it could be physical pain. Like, like, I don't know, 6 months ago, I was taking a shower and I got stung by a bee in the shower. All right. So I was teaching class and I had to be out of the house in 20 minutes. And here I have a bee sting in the back of my back, and it's like, oh, I don't have time for this kind of stuff. So I immediately used techniques that I use as a practitioner, moving energy out of my body.
Okay, show us.
Tapping. I tapped. I actually took a towel and I kept on hitting it in my back. Why? Because I'm moving energy. I'm stimulating the area to move energy instead of that pain. Because trauma takes about 3 minutes to settle in the body. So you got to get it out of there. But in the meanwhile, I'm thinking and saying, okay, what is bee? What is the medicine of the bee? Because everything that comes into our life has a lesson, has a message. Insects, bugs, animals, the wind, the water, they have an energy, they have a message, they have a story to tell. So for me, I'm stung in the back. What is bee? Bee talks about the sweetness of life, enjoying life.
So how did you use the message?
So you know what? Well, let me tell you this. 20 minutes, I took about 15 more minutes to finish up my shower. And I just did the tapping and the contemplation and I let the water hit. Again, the water was stimulating the area. By the time I finished my shower, there was no pain. The pain had gone away. And when I went to teach class, I had 2 students and their name was Melissa. Melissa in Greek, Melissa, means honeybee.
Oh, is it?
It is. So it was there where I was like, oh, actually 3. I had 3 students with that name. Trinity. So for me, everything has a message in my life, and I look at everything, and I see, and that's how I see the sweetness of life, and I see that life is so beautiful and magical and artistic. But those 3 students, I shared the experience with them, and it was very powerful for them because of what they were going through and what they wanted out of the class. And actually, all 3 of them, as with me, I needed to take some time and enjoy life and not just work, do. But it was, for all of us, it was a message. And for the entire class that, you know what, we work so much, but there is to be a balance of also enjoying life, enjoying ourselves, nurturing ourselves, feeding ourselves, and all that.
Which we very often forget when we have to make money and we run.
Right.
And I remember times working 17 hours a day.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. And there was no time for really relaxation because you had to be on the go all the time, always be on top of things. So exhausting. And so this is actually how my journey started. 2010, I was so exhausted with my work that I had no energy to get out of bed, to drive, to meet clients that were actually perfect clients. So my body was refusing to participate. You know, those moments when I call it your whole body, mind, and spirit says no to this. This is when it started for me. And actually, here's an important part to this because I'm sure many of you and you also experienced that there were signs along the way that you shouldn't be there, that there is something better for you maybe, or even if you don't know what it is, you should not be here because this is not working for you. This is not supporting your energy. This is not giving you energy. This is draining your energy. And there were messages along the way, but I didn't listen.
Yes.
So I didn't listen to the whispers. So the universe had to shout at me. And I found myself in this miserable place when I couldn't handle it anymore.
You see, you weren't going to make the change.
I didn't want to make the change.
So your higher self, your higher self said, you know what? I'm just going to completely dismantle her body where she cannot move because she's not going to make the change for herself. We're giving her the message. And that's usually how a healing journey starts because people don't listen to the message. And they just keep on going until something happens and there's a complete shutdown.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing else they can do but really have the tower come down, and it's either death or complete transformation. Either way, it's death.
Yeah.
Either way, it's death. It's the death of the old persona. It's the death
Yes.
of the old way. It's the death of doing things. But in some cases, people just, it's death, until you embark into your new way or new authentic self.
And this is the death of the old persona.
Yes.
Or it could be an accident that shakes you out of this situation. Or maybe you are fired from a job. You hated the job.
Right.
It didn't serve you, and suddenly you got fired.
Yes. And then instead of taking responsibility for why you got fired, you'd say, oh, he's an asshole. He's a bad person. That job, this, all these bad things, saying, pointing the finger that way, that way. But the other three fingers are pointing right at you. So this is where we need to say, take responsibility. Take responsibility.
Yeah, and that you're actually touching on the subject of seeing the darkness, acknowledging the darkness within ourselves, acknowledging what is my responsibility.
Yes.
But we are going to talk about it later on.
Yes.
I wanted to also bring our attention to those moments before the decision. Before decision to leave, before this decision to change life, leave the relationship or the job. What were your signs?
It's the weirdest thing. It can be anything. It depends on the person. For me, it was 13 years ago. As I said, I had the American dream when it comes to finances. My husband made a lot of good money. We had our own company. We had houses. We had just remodeled our house. I had 2 beautiful children. Material from the outside world, everything looked perfect. But I was washing dishes in my new sink with my granite countertop and all is fantastic, but I'm feeling a void inside, right? And my daughter comes from the side, and I told her something. I scolded her about something, and she immediately put her hand up, kind of like protecting, and she kind of crouched. And I was like, oh my gosh. I felt her energy. She was like suppressed. She was like being in fear. But those was the energy she was picking up from my relationship with her father. So her father had been making a lot of great money, but with the more money and power, he was also increasing in his alcohol consumption. So that really started creating a chemical imbalance with him. So he was Jekyll and Hyde. So the kids had become at an age where they understood more, and I didn't want my children to be seeing violence or any kind of altercation in the house. So I started sucking it in, not saying anything. He would say something disrespectful, and I would just smile or just not pay attention. So when I saw my daughter, she was 8 years old, do that, for me, that was the green light that I'm out of here. I refuse to raise another generation of suppressed, depressed women. Absolutely not. Because our culture, again, it's the seed that has been seeded in us. For me, from my culture, the man I chose, he was perfect. Well, he was white, so he really wasn't perfect. But he made a lot of money, so that was perfect for my mother, for my family, right? But when I saw my kid act that way, I was like, no, absolutely not. So when I left everything. I left everything behind. And I stepped out into the black abyss because I didn't know. I hadn't worked for 10 years. And that's where my journey began. But if I hadn't done that 13 years ago, I would not have discovered what an amazing, strong woman I am, what an amazing parent I really became, and how beautiful life is when you find your authentic self, when you find your truth self.
And the best reward probably for you is your children.
Oh my gosh.
As they are now.
Yes, my children now are whole, amazing, just so many wonderful things to talk about them. But I'm very proud of them. And I'm very proud of myself. And that is why I like to share my journey and tools of how to look ahead, look into the future, look into your present, and create an amazing life for yourself that is filled with happiness and joy and wholeness. Because it's possible. Because I'm on the other side of the tunnel now, where the green is grass. The green is grass. The grass is really green over here. It was really green over there, but material. But see, the material come and leave. But if you have a wealth of mind and heart, it never leaves you.
And at that time, you probably didn't know, you had no idea what are you capable of.
No, and that time, and this is another subject, we'll talk about the energy of words. And that was a time, because I hadn't worked in 10 years, but I painted. I was a graphic design artist. So I painted murals for the children's rooms. I painted for my neighbors. I did full murals for the walls. So when I divorced, I said, what am I? I'm an artist. 2 weeks later, I got a call from the first elementary school, and I painted 11 rooms. So for the next 2 months, I worked professionally as a muralist.
Amazing. So it happened for you.
Right.
In this way, the universe took care of you, but you stepped out, you took responsibility for what talents, what gifts do I have? What can I give?
Yes.
And then
and I
you
love
also
to do,
received.
right?
Yes.
So it was a
Big
beautiful
part.
journey of 2 years. But when I started feeling, because then my contracts became bigger and the clients wanted, how can I say it? It was more of a business. It was starting to become more of a business. So the clients were becoming pickier and stuff like that. It was starting to take away the love that I had for painting the walls and making beautiful paintings. So I started feeling and said, I really don't like this. And you know what? Boom, the universe made another shift for me for another healing journey, which led me to the healing arts and everything that I've studied and my own healing and health and sharing it with others.
So you are an example of somebody who felt deep emptiness and void.
Yes.
And it's interesting that we point here, right?
Yes.
In the area of the heart.
Yes. Yes. It was.
And because we don't get, in a way, our energy is depleted.
Yes.
We feel empty. And from this place, what can we give?
Nothing.
Not much. And it's interesting to see how you recognize this emptiness and you knew that this is not the life that you want to live.
Right.
This is not the life you want for your children. And you started your own journey of transformation and you learned, I don't know, like 10, 20 different modalities.
And I've used them all.
Healing. Yes.
See,
yes.
I'm experiential. So I grew hair in places that people shouldn't grow hair because I tried all these different supplements.
No
I've
way.
done some crazy things to myself.
I don't want to know.
Because, you can read it in a book, but, it's very different than applying it to yourself and really feeling it. Does this stuff really work or what really works? Yeah, so I had one of my clients that come, because I worked long stories, so many stories. Somebody recommended these drops and they were like, oh yes, I'm very horny with them. I'm like, really? Because I had no sexual desire at the time. But again, sexual desire, it's that water element, creative force in my body. I was under so much stress and fear that stuff wasn't working down there. So when this client said, oh yes, I take these drops under my tongue, oh, I am always aroused. I was like, oh,
That's
I knew
dangerous.
that. So I took the pills, but you're supposed to put 5 under your tongue, right? I was
And you
like,
did.
"Ooh, 5, the whole thing. I squirt the whole thing in my mouth. Within a month, I had completely messed up my cycle. My period was like going crazy. I was having hot flashes, and then I was growing hair in weird places.
Oh, I thought you grew hair on the underneath your feet or on your back.
Oh, you
Because
have a lot of imagination.
Because it's a weird place.
Yes, it's a weird place for me to grow hair on my chin.
Oh my God! Was it
It was like goat
full
hair.
of
I was like, what the heck? Yeah, it was the
testosterone?
supplements that I
I'm
was
sorry.
using.
That
No, but
must
now I
have been
know.
traumatic.
It was, but at the time I was going through my nutrition program, so I told the teacher was also a doctor, and I told him, he was like, Maria, you cannot do that kind of stuff. So I did have good teachers along the way that also like stopped me and prohibited me from doing some crazy things.
Who was your teacher?
It was Dr. Hanale.
I studied with him too, like for the whole year.
Yes. He was my
amazing.
teacher. And it was beautiful. And again, another thing that I manifested, because I realized at that time how the power of the food and the foods made me feel, and I was having a lot of digestive problems. So boom, I manifested a teacher that really talks about food energy. And I was like, yes. So in this healing journey, we always attract the teachers and the guides that we really need. Okay, it is for us to become open, to open our ears to and our eyes, to hear and listen and feel and accept new knowledge that may come in, that may contradict our ideas and our thoughts that we've had from the past, but to open us up to something new that perhaps is much better than what we've been leading.
And it feels in the beginning that we are taking one step at a time into the dark, and sometimes we want to know where are we going, and there's no way of knowing.
No.
Neither of us would know where we would be today when we started 13 or 10 years ago. And all you need to do is take one step, but you have to take it. Action is very important. Sometimes people are in this place where they don't know, and all they do is ask people around, or they go to psychics, or they do the tarot for themselves, but they are not taking any action. And that's important, that the action should be driven by by your energy, but by your inner, through your inner. The action should be driven by our inner guidance, which sometimes is we don't have this connection with our inner guidance.
Don't be lazy. That's the thing. Don't be lazy. It's about being lazy and just sitting back and expecting it, feeling that you're entitled to all the wonderful things and goodness. You know, we're all entitled to all of it, the good and the bad. It comes to us. It is where we put in all our energy. So light and dark lives in us. The devil and the angel lives in us. And we engage in those kind of behaviors until we decide, you know what, I really prefer to be an angel kind of energy. And some people just choose to be a devil kind of energy. It's impossible to not have one without the other. It's the polarity of everything, the polarity of energy. So I've seen my ways. I've seen at times in the past, in my youth, that I've engaged in actions or said things that were so mean and cruel. It was like really devilish. But when I became aware of that, oh my gosh, that is hurtful to others, then I had a choice to continue that kind of behavior that is hurtful to others, or to come into the light energy and be helpful to others. Because any kind of negative or hurt you bring to others, that stuff comes right back at you. And for that, I have a lot of great stories. So
another time we'll talk about it another time.
But that's what a healing, that's what a journey of life is. It's a collection of so many different stories, and everybody's stories are different. And this is where I admire and I respect every single person, even the person that doesn't have a home and lives on the streets right now. It's all perception. I met a homeless person years ago, and he was like, you know what? I love my life. Scottsdale is my living room, and Tempe is my dining room.
Are you kidding?
Like, no,
really?
I'm serious.
He said
and
that?
He was waiting at the bus stop. I was doing experiment that week, driving the bus, and see how life is for just taking the bus to go to different places. So this gentleman, he lived on the streets. He had a wheelchair, and you know what? He had a big case of water. It was a hot day, and he was giving it out to all the passengers that wanted water. So he was a veteran from Vietnam War. He got some kind of compensation, Social Security, whatever that was, and he chose to live that way, and he was extremely happy.
Interesting.
So he chose his journey, and that is his journey. So even the person that is living on the streets, if I can be helpful, if I have extra food, if I can give a smile, if I can be kind, absolutely I will do it. But it is the journey he's chosen to live in. What do you guys think? What is your journey like? How about you all send us some questions, some thoughts, and what do you think about these journeys in life and healing in these journeys of life?
And especially if you are contemplating ending a chapter of your life and starting a new chapter, and you don't know what's going to happen, and nobody can give you any guarantees. And the beauty in that is that you are in the process of empowering yourself. You are in the process of finding yourself and your true voice. Nobody can give that to you. If somebody could give it to you, it would not be as amazing as when you create it for yourself. Yes, it's hard. Yes, you don't know where you are going, but you are tapping into, you are able to tap, you discover after a while that you are able to do much more than you thought was possible before. You are able to tap into your inner wisdom. And down the road, one of the greatest rewards is, and there are so many greatest rewards that we cannot really point to one. One of them is finding your inner power, finding your authentic self and this inner authority. And from that place, you can live true to yourself, be more creative. You can only see that looking back, who you had to become. And this is really almost an alchemical journey of turning lead to gold, turning this pain to gain.
Yes. Yes. I don't remember the pain when I sit right now. I don't remember the pain. All I remember are amazing stories that I've survived, I've overcome, I grew, and with it, I've helped others. Amazing.
Especially now, coming from this place of emptiness, you went on a journey of learning, healing yourself, and now you are able to give more. And you are such an amazing healer on so many levels because you learned a lot. And if not the moment of deep despair and emptiness, you would not become who you are today, which is such a gift.
And even the healer, you know
so
what?
Many people.
I don't use that title anymore because I believe that each one of us has everything we need to heal.
Yeah.
All the answers you need for your health and healing is in you. I'm a facilitator. So, and again, this didn't happen just like overnight. You know, I went from like, I'm not a healer, I'm a facilitator. Because first getting into helping others, it was like there was also a satisfaction. Oh my gosh, I can do this, I can help other people. So it was feeding the ego, which the ego was my fire, bringing me confidence, you know, raising me up. But now I see that, no, it's not me. It's not me that's healing them.
You are just guiding.
Exactly. But also, I'm an energy particle in this whole universe. So when I heal, my energy heals. This energy touches so many other people. So when I heal the collective of women, I put one more drop of courage and confidence and strength in the collective of women, of single mothers, of people that have gone through a journey. And when people come to me, I embrace them as if it was my sister, my mother, my friend, my dearest friend. And that love that I see for them, it makes them feel love for themselves. And when somebody really starts to love themselves, that's when the healing begins.
You know, this was one of my revelations that I got. It's not about taking, it's not about how much people like us. It's about how much people love themselves through me.
Yes. Exactly. So it's all about entertaining education. So we're evolving now, the whole wellness coaching stuff. Yes, absolutely. You need mind, body, and spirit. You need to eat well. If I am to recommend something, cut out the dairy out of your diet, watch your gluten, and really watch your sugar.
What? I agree with sugar. I agree with sugar. But you know, okay, should I bring it up? I will. Dairy. I would say, like, I know that I thrive on dairy, which is hormone-free and pastured-raised. But I think that I would tell people, I would suggest would not to eat. But, and for you, your experience is
the dairy.
Don't eat dairy.
Don't dairy.
Yeah. And
of course, everybody's biochemically different, and everybody's different. But as a majority, we lose our lactose enzyme after we stop breastfeeding. So for the big percentage of people, dairy creates a lot of inflammation, but it's also the abuse of it.
Exactly.
Right? Dairy with every meal, dairy everywhere.
And dairy with hormones.
Exactly.
And from the cows that are treated like, you know, in a very bad way, the factory dairy. But I know, for example, that Northern Europeans, they process dairy very well. So for me, it's not a problem. However, if I have dairy that is not organic, not pasture raised, and I don't know from what sources, I'm going to feel it in my body and it's going to be bad. So quality is the most important.
Yes. Less, What potent?
So what else did you mention? You mentioned
Gluten?
gluten, yes.
Yeah.
And again, some people
Yes,
are
of course,
more or
everybody's
less
different.
allergic to that.
But you know what? I recommend just for a month to clean out and detox.
Mm-hmm.
Just for 1 month, try taking out of your diet all dairy, all gluten, and all sugar. Okay? And then when you reintroduce those foods back into your diet, you see, how does that affect me? How does that feel? Because people right now don't even know what they're feeling, because they're just, their body's so toxic and infused with so many different things. It's like packed in there. So part of a detox, which also it's part of the healing journey, you want to help your body, your mind, and your emotions heal, you got to really change the way you eat. You got to change your diet.
I need to add something to it, if you allow me.
Yes.
Okay, because especially in the beginning of this healing journey or journey of transformation, emotions play a big role. And here is why I'm going to tie it to the food. Because in the beginning, you may feel like crap, you may feel like you cannot do anything, you will feel bad about yourself, and you know it may not be you. It may be the food you are eating. And you know what particular ingredient has this power to mess up your thinking. Sugar for one,
For sure.
but also hydrogenated fats, trans fats, and polyunsaturated fats mess up our thinking and mess up our brain. I mean,
I can write a whole couple books about this whole story about the food.
but again, look into gluten, look into sugar, look into dairy, look into fats, but test it all on yourself.
Yes.
And like
yes,
Maria said,
yes.
do the
You know, a detox. I mean,
detox.
even in religion, we have fasting, you know, for
I love
40 days.
fasting.
Why is fasting? If you
40
look at it,
days.
fast, what, right after what? Winter, before spring, religions, right? We have fasting. Why? Look at, we're coming out of winter and trying to clean out from all the heavy foods that we have, because in winter we eat foods that create more heat in the body. So we have more root vegetables, we eat more meats, we're not as active going out, so our body has compacted a lot of energy and a lot of sources in there. So when you put the fasting, you're cleaning out, you're getting an opportunity for your digestion to just relax. And what to eat, there's so many different things to eat. You can get more protein from your vegetables, spinach and kale and broccoli. So
Okay, again, this is one side of the story.
yes,
And then the other side of the story is people that really heal by eating good quality meat.
oh absolutely, I'm not saying not
Yes.
to eat meat. Absolutely, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
and for
yes,
some
yes.
people, actually, the veggies are creating more health problems than the meats. So you know,
Yes.
food is the one of those subjects like religion and politics. And people are really tense around those subjects because the beliefs about
Yeah, you're
what
right.
is healthy
Yeah.
are really strong.
I'm telling you from my experience and from people that I've
Yes.
worked all these years, and I
Yes.
see that when you take a couple of those things out, because people don't like to make a drastic change and they get overwhelmed. So in the beginning of a healing journey, it's lighter diet, and really try for just a month to detox a couple things and rebuild your body.
Yeah. And actually, this is interesting that when we get on this journey of transformation, we start making more conscious choices.
Yes.
Diet is a big part of it.
But think of metaphorically. What I allow and ingest and put it in my mouth and take it in my body as nourishment, right? The quality, the vibration is also the vibration of people, events that I allow in. So if I'm eating, well, I'll tell you the story. Over 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was my son's birthday, and I bought him a fancy birthday cake, but it had Kit Kats all around the birthday cake and was filled with M&Ms. Nobody ate the cake, but every day I sneaked a couple of Kit Kats. So by the fourth day, I woke up and my back was killing me, excruciating pain. And I thought I got the flu and blah, blah, blah. It was pretty bad. So the third day I went to the doctor and he did blood work, and when he came back to me, it was that I have to be off sugar. I can't cheat no more. I can't cheat with dairy anymore because I have a clean diet. But then once in a while, I'd be like, ooh, that cheese. So I eat some cheese, and then if I ate it once in a while, like if I have just a little bit and then don't eat for another week, right? I'd be fine, but I overtaxed my body. Plus stress, plus the weather, and then that really knocked me down. So the doctor recommended to me, I need to eat meat. And I hadn't been eating enough meat. So again, I believe a little bit of everything, conscious eating, quality eating, and you'll be doing great.
But going back to that 40-day
Yes, fasting.
fasting, it's not like we are not eating for 40 days.
Oh no, we're just
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes. It's just not eating. Really, with the fasting, it's not eating meat and no dairy. That's
So
like
this
in
is
my
the
Christian
detox,
religion.
the
Yes,
cleansing.
and every
Because these
religion is
days
different.
we talk a lot about fasting,
Yes.
but it's like when you don't eat anything, but it's usually intermittent, when you don't
Yes.
eat for 16, 18, 24
Yes.
hours. The longest I did was 36 hours. And this is also great. Not everybody can do that. It depends on.
I've used the the
Yes.
fasting and for 36 and 48 hours, and it's been a great part of my healing because I used to have IBS, I had arthritis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had
That's
severe IBS.
right.
I had severe IBS. I had arthritis in the neck 13 years ago. X-rays showed the doctor's like, it's gonna get worse. So, and it was all digestive. Lots of aches and pains. So the fasting has really helped me, but I took it to the other extreme though.
Which is?
Which is that I got such a high from like feeling so good by eating less that I started at times, I would forget to eat and then it would be too late. So then I would not eat. And then the 36 hours became 48 hours. It became 72 hours. So I have a lot of energy and I feel really great. But my blood work showed a couple weeks ago that I've depleted my platelets. So, and that's where the doctor's like, you know what? Okay, you think you're superhuman and all, but you have a physical body, so you need to feed it and sleep and water. So again, balance, balance, balance. But the fasting has helped because it takes all that extra pressure in the digestion. It helps to have more clear thoughts. If you don't have a whole meal to digest in you, right? You're able to use that energy for other things.
That's right.
But then don't take it to the other extreme either.
I've done it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I have to put more on my plate. Yeah, so it's all about being mindful and watching yourself what's happening.
Yeah. Oh, how do we start to go on the healing journey? Write down what you want, how you see yourself to be at your greatest good. And put it as if it's happening. I am, I have. So, I am happy, I am healthy, I have meaningful relationships, my job fulfills me. The things that are missing in your life that really you dream of and you wish, put them on paper. Start to see them. You got to get detailed on what is it that I wish to bring into my life. Okay.
I see a problem here.
Tell me.
Because, like you said, the pain, I don't remember the pain anymore.
Yes.
Well, neither do I, but my notebooks reminded me. And you know what? When I was in the beginning of that, I was unhappy and I didn't know what I want. I didn't know what's possible for me. So things like happiness, joy, expression, I would not resonate with them at all. I remember I tried to fill out a 10-year plan for my life. Darren Hardy had something like this, so I printed it out. And what do you want? What's your plan? What's your mission? What's your vision? And I was crying, filling it out because there was nothing in my mind.
But it started you.
vision.
But it did.
Yeah.
But it started you. You gotta start. It started you. Like the list that I've written that I write now are so different than the ones that I wrote before.
You are right. And maybe that's a good point because then I didn't know I was hopeless. There was nothing in my mind I could hold on to as this vision of something better that would pull me.
You gotta dream. The
That
one
you
thing that
have
I've
to
always
dream,
done,
yeah.
and I think that has helped me through my life, is that even from a young child, when I would go to bed, as I would go fall asleep, and I would be like an hour in bed, I would daydream. I would like night dream. I would like go into this beautiful trance where I would travel in other places and see myself doing all these wonderful things. As a child, it was dreaming. I had my own imagination, my own creative mind. So when I was going through my transformation, all these bad things happening, I hadn't worked in 10 years. It was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What did I say? Just set the intention. What is my skill? What is what am I good at? What can I do? I'm a painter. Great. That's all I did. I put it out there. Words, vibration, you put it out there. Your list, you're going to write it over and over and over. Journaling the bad stuff, sure, we can journal and bitch about it all the time and complain about it.
And go in circles.
But it keeps you in that same circle.
Yeah.
But how about you take a moment, sit up straight, open up your spine, open up your energy, take a couple of breaths, and really settle in. If you have no creative imagination, you know what? Watch a love movie. Watch a movie that will inspire you. There was a time and period in this healing journey, and it's actually recent because I've been rebuilding myself in when it comes to relationships with a partner, with a romantic partner. I didn't know what it meant anymore to be with a romantic partner or what I wanted.
So you had to create it
So I
from
started watching.
nothing.
Yes, which means, you know what? How am I going to get inspiration? I watch romantic movies. I've been going to YouTube and finding inspiring stories of people. I did research on people that had relationships, age gaps, all kinds of different things. I opened up my mind to all the possibilities of how people when they're together, they can be happy. And that actually helped me to heal me and to see that, oh my gosh, there's beautiful people out there that are in love, that
it's
is
possible
pure.
for them.
Yes,
So it's possible for
me.
you. Yes.
Envision yourself doing something that you would really like to do.
Yeah. And that's also about shifting the energy of what's going on in your mind. What happens also in the beginning of the journey of transformation, sometimes for months or years, is that there is no dreaming. That also there is something, there is the anxiety or panic attack waking you up in the middle of the night out of nowhere, and or you cannot fall asleep. So this is the nightmare, right? So in order to change the nightmare and anxiety attack, midnight anxiety attack into a dream, you have to change the energy. You have to shift the energy. And sometimes a visit to the right massage studio will help, or an energy downtown Scottsdale, and energy healer, or picking up a book. You have to shift the energy. Use your creative powers, that is your thought and your feelings, your vibration, to escape that and start creating something new.
And you have a physical body, right? So if we can't shift the energy of the mind, because mind emotions is this essence, right, that is movable and pliable, but we have a physical body. So if I can't work with the head, I'm going to work with my body and my environment. So I'm going to organize my room. I'm going to organize my house, or I'm going to organize my body, move my body, tap your body, shake your body, breath in, go for a walk, put a song on and dance. I mean, for me, that's been super healing.
And I love that I always forget about this part.
The dancing?
The body part, like tapping the body, shaking the body, and you always remind me of that.
Yoga.
But I also believe that, and I have done it for myself in the past, that the way I use this philosophy is I dance when no one is watching. That means in the evening or in the morning, or when there's nobody.
How about you
at the
try
house.
going and dancing where everyone is watching?
No, I have done that before, and that's for fun and expression.
Oh.
But this is for the healing journey, because I believe that the body has the answer.
Yes.
And through different movements, put some music on, especially with new age, maybe with no words, and allow the body to guide you through the movements, and something is going to be expressed. You will get to know yourself even better. So I think it's very healing as well.
And if people can't do music without words, they can do music with words, like Happy, that song Happy. The words are amazing. You know, there's certain songs
I don't
that
like
have
it.
words. You don't like
No,
it?
no.
I really liked it. It made me very happy. It made me,
Okay.
you know, so
Okay.
it's very personal, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's annoying to me.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Well,
It is.
maybe if you've heard it a lot of times.
I don't know. It's just like too happy.
Or
Too
maybe
happy.
that's the thing. Okay, so if you are being challenged by something, that means that you really need it. So I think you really need happy. Then I think you really need to be more playful and let go and have that weird, funny, cute laugh that you have, and just allow yourself to be.
I'll
Yeah,
try that.
yeah. Usually the things that we don't like, that's our best medicine. Okay, we have to, put boundaries on that one. But like with a song, that happy song, there's a reason. Why don't you really like it? Yeah, why don't
Because
you?
it's too happy. Like
Yeah, why can't you be too happy? Huh?
it goes against
Yeah,
everything I just said. Right?
exactly. Why can't you be so happy?
Maybe there is something about the
There you
song,
go.
but
There's always a journey to go through. There's always another path to take. There's always another thing to learn and evolve within ourselves. Why can't you be absolutely, unconditionally happy?
I can, but not with this song.
Okay.
And maybe that's part of this Saturn in me, you know? Maybe.
Okay.
Yes.
What did you say about your laugh? That you need to like control your laugh to make it where it's not as
Annoying.
annoying.
Yeah.
I think your laugh is super happy.
Really?
Yes. So maybe this is teaching you a lesson that you really do need to let go a little bit more. And maybe we could even do like a live Q&A where people call in, because we are a wealth of resources and stories and experiences and healing, personal and with the people that we work with. So we want your question. For me, as a mother, a sister, a friend, I want to show up and bring support to all you women, single women, young girls, women in their 20s, 30s, 40s. Well, I'm in my 40s, so that's where I'll stop. But maybe all this will inspire women in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 100 and more. But the intention is to share the love with all the sisters out there, the feminine energy, the female consciousness, and for us to rise and to feel safe and happy and beautiful and healthy and fulfilled, and allow ourselves to show up authentically and support each other and be together and create wonderful new things and help the masculine energy now to heal, to balance the masculine energy. And together we can create even more happiness and joy and beautiful moments.
Yes.
Because it's all about the now. How we feel right now creates the now and the future. So after all this time, I've realized we can sit and talk about the past for hours and hours. But really, now, what can we do now? So here we are now with you to share our journeys and the things that we've learned as practitioners of the healing arts, and tell you that crossing to the other side of the tunnel can be dark at times, it can be scary, it can be lonely, it can hurt, but when you cross and you reach to the other side of the tunnel from unhappiness and sadness and not knowing to this place of love and self-worth and knowing, it's really beautiful. It really is.
And it's so worth it.
And it's really worth it.
That was beautiful what you just said.
It's true.
Thank you very much for watching